All right. Good morning, everybody. Today is Daf Yomi. Oh, yeah. So today's Daf Yomi. We left off actually off at the bottom line on Tes Zayin on the base, or 2 lines from the bottom. So we're discussing further quotes from the Mishnah. We're talking about the Divrei Tanisim, Rabbi Yehuda Omer. So we said there was 18 regular brachos plus an additional 6 brachas that were said on the days of when they added, right? So for sure it was the last 7, some say even the middle 3 fast. They added also the 24 brachos. So bottom line, so Rabbi Yehuda argues, he says, no, we don't say zichronos and shofros. That's only reserved for, we don't say it during a public fast. So Tes Zayin is the bottom. So Amar Rav Ada, the Minyafo, my time. What's the reason, Rabbi Yehuda? The only time we say is on Rosh Hashanah. We say, all the psukim of shofros and zichronos, and also on Yovel, right? Every 50 years, and also b'shas milchama, and also during times of war, right, where it says they go out, where they sound they sound the shofar. So included in that is also saying the zichronos and shofros as they go out to war. Fine. And our Rishona who oimer mishanas Abraham v'chulei. So the first one he says mishanas Abraham, and we said that one was included by Goel Yisrael. So Tana yesh machlifin tzaka le'Eliyahu v'tefila l'Shmuel. Some reverse that the psukim referencing Eliyahu to tzaka, and that which says tefillah is to Shmuel, right? Because if you look back at the Mishnah, right? If you look back and find the Mishnah, when the Mishnah lists the different psukim, right? So when it mentions about, let's see, there's on the Shlishi, so Mishnah says Yeshua, that's the Shishis, right? Right? And then it says so it says the Lashon Tzaka by Shmuel, and then it says by Eliyahu Carmel, it says Shomea Tefila. He uses Tefila there. So it says the Gemara. Some reverse, Yesh Machlivin Tzaka, that which you say Tzaka is by Eliyahu, the Pesukim of Eliyahu, and that which says by Tefila by Shmuel. So Bishlam Agabi Shmuel Ksive Tefila Ksive Tzaka. It says both Lashonos by Shmuel. It says Tefila and Tzaka. Right? It says over there. One pasuk says right, there's Pala Ba'adchem, and the other pasuk is by Shmuel says that the Shmuel Vayitzak or Vayitzak al Hashem. So both Lashonos. So either one could make sense. Ella Gabi Eliyahu Tefila Ksiv Tzaka Ksiv. But Eliyahu only says Tefila. It says Anena Hashem Aneni. Right, and it doesn't mention lashon. It doesn't mention it. So the Gemara says no. Ani Hashem Aneni lashon tzaka. That's also lashon tzaka. It's not just tefillah lashon tzaka. Therefore, the both you could it's shayach, and therefore you could use both lashonos. Right, Yud Zayin Amar Aleph, 2 dots on 6 or 7 lines from the top. Al hashishis hu oimer mishana es yoina v'chulei. And al shvi so by the 6th bracha is mentions Yonah. By 7th bracha is David HaMelech. Samichli Yonah Basar David Shlomo. So why does Yonah come first? Shouldn't David Shlomo came first and then Yonah? So my time Maktim Le Beresh. What's the reason why Yonah is first? So my answer is no. Because the bracha, the 7th bracha is Merachim al Aretz, right? And that was by David and Shlomo when they were, when they cried out and asking for tefillah, was referring to upon Merachim al Aretz. So therefore, it was more apropos for the last bracha to have it with David and Shlomo because that was Merachim al Aretz. And Tanishim Baruch Mashbil Haram. So some actually changed the last one that he says he Mashbil Haramim, right? He lowers those who are high. Fine. Just a small 6-ounce black. Thank you. So we say, so then we had a machlokas about who fasted on the 3 fast, the 337 There was the people, the Anshe Mishmar. The people of the Anshe Mishmar were the people who served that week, right? The Kohanim were divided into 24 groups. Those are Mishmar, and each group basically served twice a year. And there was also each Mishmar was divided amongst 7 Batei Avos, right? 7 base, right? So it was divided into 7 so basically each person only served one day during his week, twice a year. So Tanur Rabbanan, Ibnei Amru Anshe Mishmar, Mutar Lishtas Yain Belelas. Why do we say that the people of the Mishmar? Remember, the Mishmar were the for the people that are there the entire week, because if it wasn't their day, they're much for them to go ahead and drink wine at night. Why? But not during the day. So because they can't drink during the day. Why? Because if there was a heavy load that day and they needed more Kohanim, so everyone had to be ready. Right? So, but what's the reason why we say that people of that group, they couldn't drink not during the day and not during the night? Because they were involved with the Talmud of Avodah. In other words, they were doing the Avodah that day, therefore they couldn't eat or drink they couldn't drink wine during the day because it's forbidden to go ahead and drink wine and then perform in the temple. Any Kohen nowadays, right, that recognize his which Mishmar is part of, right? He knows which week, right? And he knows which was Mishmar's Beisav. He knows what his family's, what his date was. Yud Zayin, yeah. Mm-hmm. So he says, and he knows that, okay, which night, Tuesday night was always our week, or was always our day. The Bisman is there. If he knows it's always the 4th week after Tishrei, whatever, right? And they were always the Tuesday. That Tuesday, he would be forbidden, even nowadays, to go ahead and drink wine. Why? Because Shemi Bana Beis Hamikdash, the Beis Hamikdash might be built immediately, right? So come down, and therefore, so then you should go. And if one knows which week was his week, when it was which Mishmar is part of, but he doesn't know which Beis Av he was from. Shalom v'yodeya Shabbatei Avosav Kavun Sham, and knows which one, but he knows for a fact that his Batei Avosav were Kavun Sham. Also, Lishtos Yain calls the Shabbos. It's us for him to go ahead and drink during that week, because if basically one of those days are his and he doesn't know which day. So Mishmar is Beis Av. He doesn't know which Mishmar he's part of, or which Beis Av he was part of. However, but he knows that he was part of a Beis Av that was kavua, right, twice a year. It's forbidden to him to drink wine throughout the entire year, because Shema Yibana Beis Hamikdash, and therefore he might have to serve in the temple today. And Rabbi Eimer says, Rabbi Eimer, really, it's forbidden for them always to drink wine. Because the fact that thank you that until Rebbe came along, he says their takana was mekulka, since it's been so long, right? And Lamaisa, the Kohanim have not been called, right? Over generations to go ahead and serve. So therefore, it was sort of broken off, and therefore it would not likely be for him to go ahead and serve that day, and therefore it's not forbidden for a Kohen to drink wine. And Amar Abaye, Kaman Shasaina, Kohani, Chamri, who those people who drink wine nowadays, Kirebi, like Rebbe, because since it's been so many years and it hasn't been built, therefore we allow you to go ahead and drink wine. And Anshi Mishrav Anshi Maimed Asur and the Saper Lechabes Bechamishi Mutar Mipnei Kavod Shabbos. We said that people Anshi the Mishmar, and also the people of the Maimed, the Israel used to go there. They used to bring a Talmud for them. Asur to go ahead and to get a haircut, to launder their clothes. However, on Thursday is permitted. So my time was the reason. The Anshe Maimed, the Israeli. Those people used to stand up during the Talmud, right? And Anshe Mishmar were the Kohanim.
So this is the group of Bnei Israel who are also present.
Correct, right, in the Mikdash. So they were not allowed to go ahead and shave and get a haircut and launder their clothes. My time, what's the reason? In other words, since we prohibit them from shaving while they're there, right, or cutting their hair, doing laundry, therefore they're going to make sure to do it before. So therefore, it's because, and that's also the reason why we do that, because we want you to go ahead and look nice for Yom Tov. So since we ban, right, shaving, right, during Chalmai, people make sure to shave before Yontif, right? So it's the same concept. And Tarabanan Melech Masabim Chayim. I'm thinking a week. Yeah, I'm thinking a week. Right.
So they
1 day, 2 days a year.
Right.
2 days a year.
Yeah.
So Tarabanan Melech Mistapim B'Chayim. A king, he would get a haircut every day. Kohen Gadol, the Erev Shabbos, their Shabbos, weekly. And Kohen Hedyot Achas L'Shleishim Yom. And a regular Kohen would be once every 30 days. Melech Mistaper B'Chayim. The king was Mistaper every day. My time was Rizam Rabbi Abba Amar Rabbi Abba Bar Zavta. The Apostle says Melech B'Yaf Yaf Techzina Beinecha. Right? Right? Your eye, the king's beauty, right? You should turn your eyes. So no, you should see the king should look beautiful. You should daily haircut. And Kohen Gadol Erev Shabbos, Kohen Gadol Erev Shabbos. My time was Rizam Rav Shmuel. Yes, Kohen Mishmar so Mischatches. Because every week a new Mishmar comes, so therefore the Kohen Gadol will be presentable for the new Mishmar. And Kohen Hedyot Achas L'Shloshim Yom Minolan. So how do we know a Kohen Hedyot once every 30 days? So Asya Pera Minazir. So we learn a Gzer Shava from Nazir. Ksiv Hachat says over here the Reisham Loi Galechu Pera Loi Shalechu. It says over here. In Yecheskel, it says in their heads, right? You don't shave. However, and we should not grow out their locks, right? Uksiv Hasman says their Kadisha Gadapera Sarosha. It says over there by Nazir, right? Your locks should be holy. You shouldn't go ahead and shave it off. So just like over there by Nazir, it's telling you not to cut it within 30 days. So over here it says when you don't grow out your locks, right? Your tress, you don't grow it out too long, it only means 30 days. So therefore, once every 30 days, then you get the haircut. The Nazir Gufim Minol. And how do we know Nazir itself is referring to 30 days? Some Ramasna, Stam Nazir Shleishim Yom, because regular Nazir is a person says, I'm going to become a Nazir, but doesn't specify the length of time. Stam Nazir is 30 days. Minolan, from where you know from, so Amakra, because the Pasuk says, yeah, it says, yeah, but Gematria Tlasin Havin, right? In Gematria, it is he has 30, right? 5'10", right? And Omar Le Rapabla Baye, Vidamachi comes to say Rahman Loy Libel Cloud. Maybe it should mean you shouldn't grow it at all. It doesn't mean you shouldn't grow it for more than 30 days. Maybe it means you shouldn't grow your hair at all, and therefore you should go, get daily haircuts, right? So if it says you should not grow your pera kedamarta, so yeah, okay, I hear what you're saying. But right? The locks that you have, you shouldn't grow it. It sounds like pera lihavi. Right? It sounds like you should have some sort of lock, some sort of dress, just it can't be too long. So therefore it means you grow it 30 days and then you have to cut it.
Oh, so you don't have to worry about the pera if you do make a
right, but
that's a caution, no?
No, but it's saying that the issur by the Kohanim is that you can't have your hair be to grow out too wild. It doesn't mean you can't grow it at all. It means it can't be too long. And what's too long? Long as a Nazir, which is 30 days. But if it's less than that, it's okay, even if it's daily, right? But see, I feel like if that's the case, then we say nowadays the Kohanim should get haircuts every 30 days. Similar to drinking wine. Just like, right, the drinking wine. During the times of when it's they used to bring the during the time of when they bring the avoda, that's muzas. However, there was no base of mikdash, then shari afachanami. So to over here, I Tanya Rabbi Yomer Omer Ani Kohanim Asun Lishtas Yain Liyolam. V'Ma says right. Rabbi says really they should also not drink wine. Even nowadays. But what can you do? Because since it's been so many years, so therefore it was that takana was sort of passed on. The Amar Abaye Mikan from the Amar Abaye command the Shasoina Kohani Chamra. So who those people who drink wine nowadays? What do they hold like? Rebbe. They must hold like Rebbe. Michlal the Rabbanan Asri. See, further here that the Rabbanan they say it's Asir, right? The Rabbanan. If Rebbe is the one who says the Kohanim can drink wine nowadays, so according to the Rabbanan, they would argue, right? Because it's Rebbe.
It means getting drunk, right? It's not.
No.
Any
drink.
You're not calling, you're fine.
Yeah. So and why is that going there, Abanan? So my timer. What's the reason? Meiri Bana Beis Hamikdash. Because the concept of Meiri Bana Beis Hamikdash, right? Perhaps it could be built immediately. Ubeina and Kohen Arila Avoda Beleka, and you need a Kohen fit to go ahead and do Avoda. So why is it no Hachadav Shadam Yisrael Ba'ayil? Now, because what's the issue? So we can grow the hair out. Okay, I'll get a haircut right away, right? So the hair is not a problem. I can grow my hair. I got to work in the temple. Okay, give me 3 minutes. I'll be right there. Right? Even drinking wine should also be permitted. Nami Yashar, right? The Gani Porta, the aisle, right? Maybe you can go ahead and you sleep a little bit or you walk it off because one goes ahead and walks a mill or a Vashina Kolshu. Or he sleeps a little, takes a little nap. Then it sort of gets rid of the wine. So Gemara says no, that's not a good teretz by wine. You can't just take a quick 30-second nap or walk a little bit. That's only referring to one drink a revius of yayin. About shasa yasim revius, but if one drinks more than revius yayin, right? The one is intoxicated, right? Certainly, if he takes a walk, he'll even make him, drunker. Or if he'll, sleep, then he'll put him into a drunken stupor. Fine.
If he only had one drink of wine,
then he can doze it off. But other than that, anything more, then you have a problem of, according to Rabbanim, Meiri Bana Beis Hamikdash. Rav Ashi Amar Shtu Yayin Demachli Avoda Debechali Avoda Gazu B'Hu Rabbanim. When it comes to a Kohen who's drunk, which is Mechel, ruins the Avoda. So therefore, that we're geyser, and that the Rabbanan say it's also to go ahead and drink nowadays. However, Pri Rosh, but if you have the longer hair, the Kohen longer hair, but the long hair didn't pass the Avoda. Therefore, according to this opinion, the Rabbanan are geyser that nowadays you can't go ahead and grow your hair out. So and these are those things that want to be chayiv b'dei shemayim misa. In terms of offering in the base of Mikdash, shisu yayin, a kohen who was intoxicated, who drank wine, right during the avoda, right? Upre rosh, and one who grew out his hair. So bishlam shizu yayin behedik sivu. It says that the Refer says yayin v'sheichar al teish, right? It says wine and sheichar do not go ahead and drink. Pasuk vayikra. Ela pre rosh minolan. How do you know he who grows out his hair? The chesed v'roisham leigalechu per loyishalechu. Says over there. In Yecheskel, right? In their head, you should not go ahead and don't shave it, but you can't go ahead and grow it out. It says right after it, the yain lo yishtu kol kohen b'vam el chatzir pnimis. And the next pasuk says a kohen should not go when he enters, should not go ahead and drink wine. We make a hackish comparison between growing out the hair and drinking wine. Just like drinking wine of the avoda, if the kohen brings avoda while drinking wine, he's chay misa. Apri rosh b'misa. So the pri rosh is also b'misa. Umina. I learn from here. Just like the drinking of the wine is mechala the avoda, so apri rosh mechala avoda, right? Maybe that can go ahead. And ruin the avoda, right? So my answers, there's the hey, right? So the answers, right? So he says no, lo kish lemiso the ishkev al mechuli avoda lo iskish. Now, when he makes a comparison, he only makes a comparison to the misrei shemaim. Does not make a comparison to the mechal avoda. So therefore, that we do say this one would be chayiv the shemayim for doing it, but it does not go ahead and ruin the avoda. Fine. Right, the parentheses smack in the middle. Yeah. So, okay, as Yo keeps mentioning, why does he keep saying it? Pasuk in Yecheskel, right? Because, this is during Yecheskel. But what happened before that, right? What happened before? It's not written in the Torah, right? It doesn't say they can't do it there, grow out their hair in the Torah. So how do they know that the Kohanim couldn't grow out their hair in the time of the Mishkan? Right? According to you, this matter which we're about to say, right? The turns a person that has a bris milah, right? He can't go. If he's a Kohen, he can't perform the avodah. Where do you know that from? So we learn that from the pasuk in where's Gimel in Yecheskel also. It says Kol Ben Neichar Arel Basar Lo Yavol Mikdashi. You should not go ahead and Ariel, person who's uncircumcised, a Kohen, cannot go ahead and enter the Mikdash, right? Can't do the avodah. So where do we know that before Yecheskel? Rather, what'd you answer there? Hamek not Yecheskel man Amr, and they ask over there, I before Yecheskel was one who said it's Alok Mar Kamir law. Rather, it was a halach and lashon misina. The Yecheskel came and put it in a pasuk, and Achanami. So to over here, when it comes to the Kohen growing out his hair, Gemara Kamir law. So to over here, that it teaches that Yecheskel also. Put it in a pasuk, but it was a Torah halach l'moshe b'sinai. Fine. 2 dots. Skip the parentheses. Anything that was written in Megillas Tainus, right? That was a list of different holidays, right? And amongst that, you can't fast, and some of them are even more severe. You can't even give a eulogize in those days. Lafanav aser before there's aser lachar mutter. If the fasting comes out the day before. Can't go ahead and fast on the day before, but the day afterwards, that you can do it. So Taner Rabban, let's see. These are some of the days listed in Megillas Tainus that one is not allowed to go ahead and fast on them, and some of them one cannot even go ahead and is allowed to eulogize, to give a hesped. From the first day of Nisan, right? First day of Nisan, Pesach time, until the 8th. They established the Tamid. Basically, they had a long 8-day machlokas with it by Tusim, right? With some of the tzedukim in terms of how to interpret the pasuk by the Tamid. They say that a Yachid Misnadi brings the morning Tamid. Right, it's only because it says my darsh is as a chevazachat taseb aboker as a chevazachat taseb in a bank is a lashon yachid, right? And they answer no, that we see the lashon rabbim and therefore the tishmeru whatever it was they argued in 8 days, so therefore they established the tamid appropriately, and therefore the days 1 through 8 is part of Megillas Tainus. So you can't even make no fasting and not even a hesped. And from the 8th until after Pesach, also they had a machlokes as to the date of Shavuos. Is it from the day after? Is it 7 weeks from the day when they bring it? Is it 7 days from the day after? Right, from Pesach, right, which is the second day of Pesach, or is it 7 weeks from the day after Shabbos? Right, so once the first Shabbos of Pesach is, it'll be another 7 weeks from there, and therefore Shavuos is always on a Sunday. So that was machlokes with Tzedukim, and they argued from the 8th until through Pesach, and the people, and then I guess the
Tzedukim said from Shabbos for 7 weeks, right? That's
right. So the day after Shabbos would be a Sunday. So it's always a Sunday, right? So and basically they were victorious of the Tzedukim until for that long debate from the 8th until the end of Pesach. So Amar Bar. So there, no hespedim, no fasting. Salam alim. Why they do it? Why they say that from Rosh Chodesh, right, from 1 to 8? Lema mitchev Nisan. Say, right, say from the 2nd through the 8th, right? Those are days included in Megillas Tainus. Rosh Chodesh Gufa Yom Tov V'Yaser, and Rosh Chodesh itself is already asked to fast. It's already asked to make a hesped. No, because on Rosh Chodesh, if the day before is not asked to fast, but a day of Megillas Tainus, which was celebrated, then the day before is asked to fast, right? So that's the Yom Shalafanav Nami. Typically, the Havili Yom Shalifnei Rosh Chodesh. But what's the name? It's the day before Rosh Chodesh actually asked to fast. Rosh Chodesh Deraisa. Rosh Chodesh is Deraisa. The Deraisa loy by chizuk, and Deraisa doesn't need extra chizuk. We don't need to make the special gedarim around that. You can't fast Rosh Chodesh, you can't fast the day before. No, that does not need to say about something which is Deraisa. The time of Deraisa. Hayamim ha'elu aksuvim b'migas tainus. These days they listen to migas tainus. Lifneyan uleacharim asurim. Before them and after them is asur to go ahead and fast. Shabbos v'yayim tov. However, Shabbos and Yantav, hey, now asurim, those days are asur to fast. Lifneyan uleacharim mutarim. But before and after is mutar. Once there was one or the other. Hello, Divrei Torah, but Divrei Torah it's chizuk. Those are Divrei Torah. Divrei Torah does not need chizuk. And halam divrei seifrim. However, the other ones that Megillas times are divrei seifrim. The divrei seifrim chizak. Therefore, they need some extra strengthening. Therefore, we say even days before, days after, also forbidden to fast. And Amar Mar, and the second set of dates, Mitimna ad Sof Moada. Right? They established the date from the 8th of Nisan till the end of Pesach. They established the holiday of Shavuos, and therefore they said one cannot eulogize during that. So Lamali ad Sof Moed. Why'd you say until the end of Moed? Right, until the end of Pesach. Lema ad hamoed. So you can't go ahead and do a hesped or a fast from the 8th day of Nisan until Yudalit. Right, and then from there, Pesach takes over, where you can't do a hesped and you can't fast anyway. Right? And moed is opposite yantif. The aser and should be aser. Some Rav Papa Rav, like Rav says, lo nitzucha ella. Turn the page. Eli aser yom shelafanav. Rather to forbid the day before, and so over here it means also to forbid the day after, because if it was just Pesach, then the day after would be mutter to go ahead and fast, or to make a hesped, or to fast. So therefore we say that including till the end of Pesach, therefore to forbid the day after for one to go ahead and fast. All right, we'll stop here at the top. Tomorrow we will go ahead and